Welcome back, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you're watching live, we're going to wait about 2 minutes, give some people time to kind of hop into the video so we can start all at once. If you're watching the recording, you can go ahead and fast forward to about 2 minutes till the video starts. But if you're tuning in, thank you so much for watching. We have a lot of updates today. We have millions of seniors on Social Security benefits that are getting back pay. So we'll talk about exactly what that is, if that affects you. If it doesn't, it could potentially help someone that you know. We also have updates when it comes to Trump's tax bill, what's happening in the Senate. It looks like there's actually some trouble with getting that approved. We'll see what's happening with that and what the odds are of that getting approved soon as well. Then we also have some Trump Musk drama. There's some problems going on with Trump and Musk. We're going to discuss exactly what was said. Elon Musk has made some huge allegations against Trump. He's since deleted those. But we're going to talk about all that stuff, guys. With that said, let me know where you guys are watching from, what state you guys are in. I'm always curious to know where you guys are. We have thousands of viewers from all over the country. So drop that down in the comments, which state you guys are watching from. But essentially, we have a lot of updates to jump into, guys. Let's jump right into it. First of all, we have Trump and Musk with some massive drama here. Trump and Musk got into a huge spat. Elon Musk posted a ton of stuff. We're going to go over it, but just to quickly show you, he said, "Time to drop the really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, DJT." He also said, "Mark this post for the future. The truth will come out." So we'll dive deeper into that in today's show. We also have Trump's tax bill. We have some diehard MAGA supporters like Marjorie Taylor Greene actually turning against that bill. She's in the House of Representatives. She voted for it, but then since has said if she had actually read the entire thing, she wouldn't have. So it's kind of crazy. A lot of these people aren't even reading everything they're voting for. But we're going to talk about that tax bill, what's happening in the Senate, how many people are kind of voting against it, and potentially if Elon Musk could have an impact on that as well. Then we're going to talk about these retroactive payments. There's millions of seniors on Social Security that are going to get back paid Social Security payments up to $1,000 per month. Again, we'll discuss the details on that, who that might affect, and potentially if that could affect you. Headlines are saying Social Security says over 2.5 million retroactive payments have already been processed, and here is what you need to know. All right, guys, and if you're dropping comments down below, I really appreciate that. At the end of today's show, I'll go ahead and address your comments. But again, please let me know which state you guys are watching from. And let me know if you guys think Trump's doing a good job so far. Do you think Trump's doing a good job in his first few months? Drop a yes down below if you think he is. Drop a no if you think Trump is doing a bad job. So before we jump into the tax bill, what's happening with that and what's happening when it comes to those retroactive back paid Social Security benefit payments, let's take a quick look and see what's happening with Trump and Musk. And guys, it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about power. We all know that Trump and Musk, both billionaires, Elon Musk currently being the richest person in the world. And just a few months ago, you had Trump selling Teslas in the on the White House lawn, essentially turning the White House into a Tesla dealership, right? Now, just a few months later, we have crazy things happening. If you check the headlines, Elon Musk posted a bunch of crazy stuff about Trump. Really, he's the one kind of spearheading this drama. Trump was a little quiet at first, then he's come out since. We'll show you what Trump said as well. But if you take a look at the headlines, Musk's major allegations against Trump disappears from social media. That post has since been deleted. So I'm going to show you exactly what Musk posted, but he's actually deleted most of this. So he said things like Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should become president. He said things like Trump was involved with Epstein, which we all know how that goes. And that's the real reason why those files haven't been released. He said a bunch of stuff, right? So let's check this out. He shared a post on X, which is the website that he owns. He said, "Yes, President versus Elon, who wins? Trump should be impeached and JD Vance should replace him." Basically sharing that tweet and saying that he agrees with that. That since has been deleted from his Twitter. He also said, "In light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately." So Donald Trump came out on Truth Social. So if you don't know, Trump owns his own social media platform called Truth Social. Over the last few days, he hasn't really been posting on X. You know, Elon Musk owns X, so he's probably trying to promote his own website, right? Truth. So he's not posting on X, he's posting on Truth Social. In any case, Donald Trump said on Truth Social, "The easiest way to save money in our budget. Remember, Elon Musk is complaining. The reason Musk claims to be upset with Trump is because they're spending too much money and they're making the deficit even worse with this massive tax bill, right? So they want to save money, is what Musk is saying, which I don't believe him, but we'll talk about that in a second. Trump's response is the easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's governmental subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it, right? And for those of you that don't know, Musk companies, Tesla, SpaceX, they basically wouldn't exist if it wasn't for the government giving them contracts, giving them subsidies with those EV tax credits. And Trump is already taking away the EV tax credits, at least he's supposed to in this bill if it's approved. And now, since Elon Musk pissed off Trump, Trump is threatening to take away those contracts with SpaceX, which, you know, he has his rockets that launches into space. They're trying to go to Mars. They literally make almost all their money from the government. If Trump takes that away, who knows, could go bankrupt, right? And Elon Musk's response says, well, we're going to decommission the Dragon spacecraft immediately. And essentially, the Dragon spacecraft currently is the only thing that can really get U.S. astronauts into the International Space Station. So Elon's essentially threatening Trump, saying, well, if you cancel my contracts, we're not going to help you get astronauts from the U.S. into the International Space Station, right? So essentially, things are escalating. He's since deleted most of these. Again, Trump said he was surprised that Biden didn't cancel a lot of these contracts himself. I was honestly surprised by that as well. You'd think that Biden would have, given all the drama that Elon Musk had caused with Democrats. Elon Musk then said that Trump tariffs will cause a recession in the second half of this year. So really the biggest things in Trump's agenda so far are the tariffs and this massive tax bill. And Elon Musk is attacking both, right? So what was Donald Trump's responses? Donald Trump claims that he asked him to leave from the White House. Remember, just a couple of days ago, Elon Musk left. Then he started saying all this drama online. Donald Trump said that Elon was wearing thin and he asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do. He just went crazy. Now, if you don't know, they've had this EV tax credit that Biden actually put in place. So if you buy an EV, most of the time you're going to save $7,500 towards that purchase. And that has helped Elon Musk massively growing his company, which has made him the richest man in the world. Now, Donald Trump plans to take that away. It's in the tax bill. It was always going to be in the tax bill, but now Elon Musk is flipping out. Now, personally, I think that's what he really cares about. Elon Musk, even though he doesn't say it outwardly, he says he cares about the deficit getting bigger. I think what he really cares about, and I actually agree with Trump on this one, is Elon Musk wants favors from Trump, right? Let's be honest. Elon Musk spent $250 billion or $250 million getting Trump elected. Whether you think he would have gotten elected without him, that's your opinion. Matter of fact, let me know in the comments. Do you think Trump would have gotten elected without Elon Musk's help? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. In any case, we know Elon Musk wants some favors here, right? Let's be honest. And essentially, he's not really getting any favors in this tax bill. They're taking away the EV mandates, the EV tax credits. There really isn't anything in here that's going to directly help Elon Musk. So he's pissed off, right? Donald Trump also said, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, the biggest budget tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, there will be a 68% tax increase and things far worse than that. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on the path to greatness. Now, whether or not you agree with that, that's up for debate, but that's essentially what Trump's response was, right? Now, let's take a quick look. Trump was actually asked, he was effectively asked, what are his thoughts on what Elon Musk has been saying? He addressed this, I believe, on Air Force One. So let's take a quick look and see what Trump had to say.
But it's a deal that's bringing us a lot of money and a lot of everything else, and we get along very well with President Xi and with China.
Mr. President, on the one big beautiful bill,
contracts, do you feel like the U.S. can survive without them? Obviously, you contribute a lot when it comes to defense and space, and that relationship has been important for quite some
Yeah, I
time.
think the U.S. can survive without almost anybody.
and do you
Except me.
did you have any concerns about his drug use when he was working with you?
I don't want to comment on his drug use. I don't know what his status is. I read an article in the New York Times. I thought it
today that Mr. Musk had a problem. What did you mean by that? And did you misjudge him? Like,
I don't want to talk about problems. I think that I think the United States had problems, and if you look at the numbers today, the numbers were unbelievable. The numbers were incredible. The numbers that came up today, the stock market went way up. The country's doing really well. Almost, I think, in a very short period of time, you're going to be seeing doing better than it's ever done before. We have hundreds of plants coming in, plants. A lot of jobs are being created. That's what happened this morning. You saw the jobs. And the nice part, they're not government jobs. They're jobs of people coming in and doing other things, including.
Okay, guys, so Trump essentially kind of sideswiped the question. He was asked about Musk. He said, I don't know about his drug use. I don't want to comment on that. Surprisingly, kind of taking the high road on this one, which is kind of rare for Trump. You know, Trump usually takes digs on people. But the one last thing I will say is if Trump really was in the Epstein files in a serious way, I think Biden and Democrats would have released that already as well. But let me know your thoughts on that. Let me know your thoughts on this whole Musk-Elon drama, whose side you're on. Personally, I'm on either side. I don't think billionaires should have this much influence and power inside of our government. Trump and Musk both being billionaires, obviously Musk being the richest person in the world. Let me know your thoughts on that. It's going to be interesting to see how things develop. Musk is definitely going to continue to try and have his influence on the government when it comes to this tax bill and things going forward. But let's jump into the tax bill, guys. Donald Trump and his tax bill are hitting some major roadblocks in the Senate. There are a lot of senators that actually say they need to cut the budget. They're agreeing with Elon Musk. And if Musk can just get a handful of Republican senators on his side, they won't be able to pass this budget. Now, they need at least 50 votes. Essentially, they need a majority, but the vice president can be the tiebreaker. So if they just get 50, J.D. Vance will be that tiebreaker and they can approve this bill. However, they currently only have 53 Republican senators in the Senate. So if they can get 4 people to vote no, it's not going to get passed. And usually what happens is they'll do some favors, they'll scratch their back, what Elon Musk called pork, put some pork in the bill for those specific senators, things that might benefit their state, and then they'll vote to approve it. Now, the thing is, Elon Musk, being the richest man in the world, if he can just get 4, 5, 6 Republican senators to vote no, if he can say, hey, you know, you're up for re-election next year, I'll give you $20 million, I'll give you this, that, and the other. It's possible. Even though Trump has more political influence, he has more political power, really, like literally and figuratively. Musk has a lot of money, right? So if he can just get a handful of people where he can give them enough money to convince them, like, hey, not only will I get you reelected, you're going to be set for life. You know, I'll give you a job at Tesla, I'll give you a job at SpaceX, whatever it might be. So don't be fooled here, guys. Even though Trump's in control of the White House, you never know. Elon Musk is a wild card. And there are a handful of Republicans that are concerned. And surprisingly, even diehard MAGA supporters like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who voted for the bill, and she admitted she didn't even read the entire bill. And let's be honest, this bill has about 1,100 pages, and they don't give these senators and representatives enough time to read these things, which is a problem, right? It's ridiculous. You have people you vote into office not even reading bills before they approve them. But in any case, Marjorie Taylor Greene said that if she had fully read the bill, which I think is so ridiculous they don't, she would not have voted for it. But her problem isn't the same problem as Musk. It's not the deficit. It's not the tax cuts. It is the regulation on artificial intelligence. Now, currently at the state level, individual states can put different laws in place to regulate artificial intelligence and its use and implementation. In this bill, it says that for the next 10 years, states do not have that right, and only the federal government can put regulations in place for AI. Now, this is the one thing I would say when it comes to Marjorie Taylor Greene. For me personally, I can agree with. Typically, I don't agree with her. I think she's a little crazy. But we need to regulate artificial intelligence. People don't realize this is amazing technology, but if not regulated properly, this is dangerous technology as well. And it's scary, the fact that they don't want to let states regulate artificial intelligence. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Do you think artificial intelligence should be regulated at the state level as well? Or are you okay with Trump taking that power away from the states and only letting the federal government regulate artificial intelligence? See, my worry with that is that Trump and a lot of people in government have this tendency to take money from big tech and then give tech whatever they want, right? We saw at Trump's inauguration, you had all the richest, tech moguls sitting right behind him. You had Musk, Bezos, Zuckerberg, the dudes from Google. You had everyone there, right? So if they're scratching his back, obviously he's going to go light on regulation. And we know Republicans tend to go light on regulation as well. But there's a lot of problems with this tax bill currently in the Senate. Let's take a look. This could potentially impact Medicare in a major way. Let's see. Republicans at a special meeting Wednesday afternoon discussed expanding their search for savings to Medicaid despite Trump's warning to House lawmakers last month to not F with Medicaid. And notably, they raised the possibility of changes to Medicare. And quote, they said, "There's a legitimate debate about, can we do more with Medicaid? Are we doing too much with Medicaid? How much waste, fraud, and abuse is there in Medicare? Why don't we go after that? I think we should." Senator Kevin Cramer, a Republican from North Dakota, said this after meeting with colleagues to discuss the bill. So this is a slippery slope, right? We already have funding being taken away from Medicaid in this bill if it gets passed. Then we have some Republican senators talking about potentially, looking into fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicare. And when it comes to just fraud, waste, and abuse, take it out, obviously. But a lot of times some people use that as a Trojan horse to say, no, we're only cutting waste and fraud, but then we actually cut benefits, right? So it all comes down to, who do you trust? If they end up making some kind of cuts to Medicare, do you trust Republicans and Trump to actually cut just the waste? Or do you think they're going to use that as an excuse to cut benefits and reduce spending on Medicare as well? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. Now, quickly to summarize, we've talked about this tax bill and how it includes a lot of things for seniors. It includes an additional $4,000 tax deduction, not credit, they're different, tax deduction for seniors. That's only going to help you if you pay taxes. So those who are, the lowest income folks in this country, especially seniors, they're not actually going to be benefited by that at all, unfortunately. But that's essentially what's happening. Republicans are hoping to get this passed by the 4th of July. So we'll see what ends up happening. Again, let me know your thoughts on that bill. Do you like the bill? Elon Musk came out and said it's a disgusting pork-filled monstrosity. Do you agree with Elon Musk, or do you agree with former President Trump, or with current President Trump? It's also worth noting that Elon Musk said that he is interested in starting a third party, and he held actually a poll on his Twitter, and it looks like 80% of people said yes. So it's going to be interesting. I do think Elon Musk could potentially try and do that. But guys, let's jump into the update on Social Security benefits. Headlines are saying that Social Security says over 2.5 million retroactive payments have been processed. Here's what to know. So let's take a look, guys. We have an article here going over exactly who is being benefited by these retroactive payments. And again, this is only going to affect certain people. This might not affect you. It could potentially affect you. But if not, it could affect someone that you know. So let's take a look at this article and see exactly what's happening with Social Security benefits. Now, the Social Security Administration has processed over 2.5 million retroactive payments for teachers, firefighters, police officers, and others with public pensions who were previously locked out of retirement benefits, the agency said last week. Signed into law by President Biden in January 2025, the Social Security Fairness Act requires the agency to adjust benefits for 3.2 million people, including future and past benefits. Social Security has completed 90% of its caseload, according to its May 27th update. Now, payments are going to public pension holders previously barred from collecting full benefits under the federal retirement program due to two federal policies: the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. The Social Security Fairness Act ended both of these provisions, opening the door for millions to receive retroactive payments dating back to January 2024. December 2023 was the last month that these two provisions applied, according to the Social Security Administration. If you're eligible for these payments, read on for the latest from Social Security Administration. Now, when will you be getting your retroactive payment if you qualify for this? Now, the agency started issuing payments on February 2025. According to the Social Security Administration, beneficiaries should have received a one-time retroactive payment deposited into the bank account the agency has on file for that person by the end of March 2025. In terms of the new monthly benefit, most eligible parties should have seen payment increases starting in April. There's a 1 month lag for Social Security payments, so the April payments reflected the March benefit. So what if I have not gotten my payment yet? The Social Security Administration previously said that most Americans would have to wait up to a year or longer to receive their benefits. While the agency has been able to expedite payments using automation, more complicated cases need to be processed manually and will take longer as a result of this, according to the website. So a lot of people have already been getting their payments. If they haven't, it could potentially mean their situation is a little more complicated. Now, how much will benefits increase depending on the person? Now, the amount of added payments hinges on a few factors, such as the type of Social Security benefit and the type of pension the person receives. Some people will get a very small adjustment, a very minor one, while others could see over $1,000 each month added to their Social Security benefit. Now, how will I know if my benefit was adjusted? Any beneficiaries who receive a retroactive payment or a monthly benefit adjustment will receive a mailed notice from Social Security explaining the change. So remember, typically Social Security won't call you or email you. They're typically going to send you a snail mail. So if you're not sure if you qualify for this, if you're on some sort of pension, or if some of your friends or family members are, you could call the Social Security office, or you could keep an eye out in the mail. If you don't get anything in the mail, give them a call, in the next few weeks to see if potentially you might qualify. Now, some people are still confused by this. Like, what does this even mean? What are these provisions? How does this change things? And, how does this potentially impact what's happening? Working for me. But essentially with those two provisions being pared back, people that were on certain pensions didn't qualify for Social Security benefits. This could be because they were only paying into their pension and they were not paying into the Social Security Administration. That's why they don't actually get those benefits. Or it could be because they're getting both, but then they get docked on their Social Security benefit, and they're essentially taking both of those provisions away. So with that said, guys, let me know in the comments if you qualify for these additional bonus back paid payments. Let me know if you or someone you know does. If you have any questions, drop them down below. That's about it for today's show. That's all we have to cover. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments. Obviously, we have a lot of updates happening, so please like and subscribe. We're going to continue covering what's happening with the economy, what's happening with the government, and what's happening with Social Security benefits. Again, there's nothing directly for Social Security in this current tax bill, but we do have Bernie Sanders fighting for different increases, changing, how the COLA is calculated. So there's always a lot of updates, and I always appreciate you guys tuning in. But please subscribe, please like, drop those comments below. And really quickly before I end today's show, I'm going to take a quick look at the comments. Miss Star says, hello, I'm listening from Louisiana. Thank you, Miss Star from Louisiana. Vanessa Lynn Boggs says, hello, watching from Tennessee. Vanessa, thank you so much for tuning in from Tennessee. Ron Daggett is in Seattle, Washington. Thank you, Ron. Ron said yes, so I believe Ron thinks Trump is doing a great job so far. Steve Thompson is from Shreveport, Louisiana. Steve, thank you so much for tuning in from Louisiana. Steve went on to say, that's all these Republicans know is tax cuts for the rich. And corporations, and to pay for it by cutting programs, the seniors, disabled, poor, and vets like Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and SNAP. Steve, I got to tell you, if they're giving tax breaks, to millionaires and billionaires, they shouldn't be cutting benefits for Medicare, Medicaid, and obviously Social Security, which they're currently not touching. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting down below. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you on the next show.